They have a long list of achievements. So because this is a discussion round, I will not go through everything, but hopefully we'll have Dr. Geeta Sharma for a personal talk on our channel, and then we'll give you a deeper introduction into her experience. And also we have Dr. Satya Dornala, who is a Panchakarma specialist, as they say, at the Swami Vivekananda Ayurvedic Panchakarma Hospital in Delhi. And we have these experts coming together to go through a few questions that we have when it comes to the immune system. So the first question, and I will pass the question around to each of you. The first question is, which factors play a role in the development of the immune system? So from the start to the end, some basic ideas of each system, how this immune system is being developed. It might be the genes, the environment, the food, the whatever influences you might think are important for that. So because we had the papers, the Siddha medicine and then the Ayurvedic medicine, I will go just the same way and start with Dr. Tirunarayanan. And please, would you tell me from the Siddha point of view, which factors have a great role in the development of the immune system?
Namaste. The Siddha system believes the immune system starts from the Prakriti, that is the physical constituent. The physical constituent of an individual starts right from the time of conception, from the father and the mother, when the sperm and the ovum meet together. And that, even before that, it starts at the time when they have the breathing in the left or the right nostril during the time of sexual intercourse. So the Prakriti at birth is the first feature where the immune system also develops in an individual. This is the first point. It is also influenced by the environmental factor, the dietary factor, the physical activity that we do, the yoga, pranayama, and all other things that we practice, yama niyama including, and then the adequate rest. That's how, so basically it starts from the birth or at the time of conception itself. For example, Siddha system believes a person with a kapha prakriti, kapha is earth and water. The person with kapha prakriti at the time of conception, normally the prakritis are not, one. It could be a single, it could be a combination of two. Kapha with vada or something like that, predominant. But when we say prakriti, whatever is predominant, we classify them as the prakriti. Or the prakriti means nature, right? The natural immune system emerge at the birth itself. But it is also influenced because of our lifestyle, of our food, and all other things that we do.
Okay, fine. Very good. We go to Dr. Satya Dornala, who is here for the Ayurvedic branch. So what would you add to this or maybe see differently?
Yeah, thank you. At the outset, let me thank the Dr. Vinayak Nair for making me part of this program, and Vaisal Nasri for allowing me to speak on this program. Thank you all, and I really appreciate the efforts you people are being put into, and so that the broader vision is for a healthy society. So it's really an appreciable one, and thank you for making me part of this program. Yeah, regarding the immunity, just I want to give. So one thing I'll strongly say, COVID has made us COVID. There is an Hindi word COVID. COVID is making aware of and making intellect. So that's how definitely COVID made us a COVID. That's sure. COVID in a sense, very recently, probably you people have heard that in April 2020, last year, Google has released in a report that is what is India searching for. And they found that it is something related to health seeking behavior of the people, particularly Indians. And they found that there is a 500% increase in the search of the word immunity. It is something which is really, and coincidentally, whenever they try to find out the immunity word on Google, so the Ayurveda is coming into the limelight. So, something which you search nearest all terms will come in the Google. So Ayurveda is immediately it's coming. So that's how Ayurveda is becoming synonymous with the word immunity. So that's how it is the significance which is reflecting on Ayurveda. And in this, the efforts being put forth by Ministry of Ayush, Government of India is really an appreciable one. That's all. Coming to the topic, the word immunity. So you all know, even many knows that the word ojas is something which is most similar to the word immunity. But ojas is something which is broader in a sense. Yes, we consider immunity as ojas, but not the ojas as immunity. Ojas is something which is beyond the understanding of a simple word immunity. Immunity has its own limitation. But ojas is something, this is something which is broader in a sense. Fine. Coming to how we look at this, synonymous, we have a word bala in Ayurveda, prakrutastu balam sleshma vikruto malamuchite, such a ojas. So bala in a sense, in normalcy, it is considered as ojas. It is again, this bala is three types, we all know, that is sky balam, that is sahaja, kalaja and yuktikruta. But beautifully, my contribution in this context is, I look at this word immunity. IMM, unity. This is unity of three factors. Unity of I, unity of M, unity of M. Three factors. This unity of three factors. What are these three factors in Ayurveda and in the modern science? So this is my contribution. So you will enjoy to listen this. What is this I means? In Ayurveda, we call it sahaja. I means innate. I means innate. Innate means inherent. That is what sahaja. Sahaja bala. One type of bala. Second one is M. Ayurveda says kalaja. What is M in immunity? Second M, that is meteorological seasons and middle age. Second M is meteorological seasons. That's what the kalaja. Ayurveda says there are specific seasons. Naturally, humans' strength, the strength of the individual is more. For example, winter seasons. So those are the seasons. That is, we call as meteorological seasons. And middle age, among all the three ages, childhood and middle age and the old age. So usually the middle age is, where individual has uttama bala. So that is what the M, that is kalaja. And third one is yuktikruta. The word Ayurveda, in Ayurveda, Yuktikruta, they say it includes your ahara and your chesta and your aushadhi. That is rasayana aushadhi. Here we say that is M means meal and activities and medicines. This is the immunity, unity of three factors, that is inherent, sahaja, that meteorological season, and middle age, kalaja, and yuktikruta is meal, activities and medicines. These are three from Ayurveda perspective. And even the common word is, and that's how unity of three factors. If you come to the modern perspective, what are those IMM in modern science? One is naturally there also we have a types of immunity, innate immunity, and adaptive immunity. That is again I means innate. There we can add inoculation. What is this inoculation? That is immunization. So there immunity also innate is that is non-specific immunity, and whereas immunization is specific immunity. So there the immunity includes I, first I. Second I is that is memory. What is this memory? Memory means immunological memory. What is this memory? You must have heard that there are people once they get affected with COVID also. So we see less people have got affected with again second time. That is because of that is what we call immunological memory. Generally, we feel that memory is only the function of the brain. No, Ayurveda believes memory is the function of each and every individual cell. Each and every individual cell. So the reason Ayurveda strongly advocates Medhya Rasayana in all autoimmune disorders. Even you are supposed to put in a Brahmi in diabetes also. Brahmin, wherever you find there is an immunological disturbance, particularly in autoimmune disorders, there you need to put in some Medhya Rasayana, nootropic herb. That second one is memory. Third one is microbiome and metabolism. You all know human microbiome is 10 times is larger than the individual human cells. So that's how that itself reflects how the microbiome has a role in maintaining the individual's immunity. So, and ultimately the metabolism is essential. So in Ayurveda, they mentioned about the meal and that thing. So something which you are mentioning about the food means it leads to your metabolism. So what I want to say is the concept of Ayurveda, which is looking at in a broader sense, holistic manner, and putting the three factors, unity of three. Whosoever on this board, naturally hereafter you will not forget what exactly the unity. It is the unity of three factors IMM. So is looking at though we say it is Ayurveda, though it is a modern science, Ayurveda always emphasizes on the broader sense and the holistic perspective, whereas modern science goes in an individual perspective. But otherwise, so more or less it's something looking at a 6. So if you look at from other side, it looks like a 9. If you look at from this side, it looks like a 6. So the two opposite views of immunity is more or less similar, and this is what the three factors contribute for the development of immune system. Even while dealing with the immune system, strengthening of immune system also. So again, these the factors which are responsible for the immune system to be taken due consideration. Then only there will be a sustainability in the immunity, maintenance of the immunity. Yeah, thank you.
Great. So we had some addition to that. Now we are packing. Okay, now we go to Dr. Sharma, to both Dr. Sharma. So we start maybe with Dr. Geeta Sharma, coming from the naturopathy side of things. What would you add to what your colleague said?
Hey, good evening, everyone out there. It's a great pleasure for me to be here, and I would like to thank Dr. Vinayak for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much. Well, being a naturopath, okay, again, if I talk about the development of immunity or immune system, again, it starts from the intrauterine life of a fetus. So it's the main psychological condition, the health condition, and the environment where the mother dwells. That brings,
just one
yes.
point. The next question will be the fetal development,
Okay, okay.
and where the emphasis is. So maybe just the basic idea of the development of the immune system at naturopathy. Yeah.
Okay, okay. According to naturopathy, actually naturopathy is a drugless therapy. So here, basic what is the basic principle of naturopathy is the maintenance of Pancha Mahabhutas. That means that there are 5 great elements in the body, which this whole earth is made up of this 5 great elements, and naturopathy, our body is also made up of the same 5 great elements. That's like earth, fire, air, ether. Okay, and these, if there is any imbalance in these mahabhutas or these 5 great elements, that leads to disease. And our immunity and the basic balance between these great elements, that leads to immune system, or that maintains the homeostasis in the body. Okay, so these 5 elements, they represent our body. Like earth represents our muscles and everything, like that is the main cellular functions that takes place in our body. Water, it represents all the fluids in our body, that's blood and all the fluids in our body. So all these 5 great elements that dwell in our body, and they maintain the homeostasis to give the immune system. Okay, and that maintains the immunity of the body. So in naturopathy, actually naturopathy is a shelter and it's a drugless therapy. There are many limbs, like manipulative therapies, there are acupuncture, and we have hydrotherapy. These are different limbs of naturopathy, and each limbs, they form together. And again, same thing with the acupuncture also, which is one of the limb of naturopathy, that also says that the energy that dwells in the body to maintain the homeostasis, there are 5 elements that are in the body which will be maintaining the homeostasis, and that will be leading to immunity, and that forms the immune system. So this is the basis. Like in detail, we'll be talking it later. Okay.
So actually what you're saying is just finding the balance of those 5 elements, which will be different from body to body, and
Yes.
we will have to so basically in the natural course, a body is going towards that balance. I understand, right? So and we want to support the body in that way. So is it that in naturopathy you're saying there is a kind of a natural optimal immune system?
Yes.
Is there something like that when you're born, or when you're, or if you're very living in a natural way, which way ever that might be, you know? So that would be my question. Is there a natural way to be perfectly immune?
Yes. If there is any imbalance in these 5 great elements in the body, that will lead to disease. And when you maintain that, and each individual has their own basic elements, and if there is any imbalance, that will lead to disease. But if they maintain this homeostasis or harmony between these elements, that will lead to health. And if you like, mainly as we say that it is a drugless therapy, we intervene on natural life with natural diet and natural lifestyle. Okay. So that will help in maintaining the homeostasis of the body, and that will enhance the immunity.
Right. So yes, it's just that that is enhancing the immunity, but what actually builds the immunity?
Yeah. For
Yeah,
building, it is the energy, or you can say prana or vital force in naturopathy. Actually, the main motive of balancing these harmony is when body is in harmony, there is proper circulation of blood, and that will maintain the normal vitality. And if there is any imbalance in these elements, that will lead to morbid matter, like accumulation of morbid matter in the body. And that will cause abnormal composition of blood and lymph in the body, and that will cause the lowered vitality, and that will decrease the immune system. That is, or you can say that in naturopathy, there is only one cause of disease, that is accumulation of morbid matter, that is toxins in the body. And what leads to disease is removal or elimination of this morbid matter from the body, that will lead to health, and that will maintain the harmony.
Very good, very good, very good. That's great. Thank you. So Dr. Krishna Sharma, would you please give us your view on it from the yogic and yoga therapy side?
Namaste for everybody. Audible, sir?
Yes, it's great.
Now,
We
what
hear
are...
you and the dog.
Yeah. Earlier, all our speakers, what they mentioned, and form of yoga, its basic is same. Nothing is changed. Why means all these are really basically with the Indian concept. So originates from Prakriti only. Prakriti to Buddhi, Ahankara, same way 5 Tanmatras and 5 Mahabhutas. The same way sensory organs, motor organs, like this it develops. So totally in the form of Pancha Mahabhuta and 11 organs will be there for outlook. Internally, mind, buddhi, ahankara will be there. But with all these Indian concept, for all this modification, buddhi is important area or factor or tattva, what we call. So it may be in mother, it may be in father, it may be in child, or after getting birth. Important area is buddhi. So whatever we are getting, see, as a human being, special quality is buddhi. If we are using that buddhi in a systematic approach, we can take that diversion for any direction. Which aim we need in that direction, we can take. Because of that only, ordinary person can work in an extraordinary way, in different area, with the different qualities, in an amazing method. This is the basic quality what we have. So now to change or to develop this immunity system or immunity total, see, the same buddhi we should use properly. So theoretically what means? Which direction you can't use that buddhi, that direction automatically we are lagging. It may be immunity, it may be knowledge, it may be thinking, it may be talking, it may be behavior, body development, mind development, anything you take part by part. But its basic cause is buddhi only. In general, what we say means poverty and richness. What is poverty? It is a quality of buddhi only. What is richness? It is a quality of buddhi only. See how it flows, like that one. Now this buddhi development and its basic qualities, again same way, but basis is dependent upon first two things. One, breathing level, what energy we are getting. Second one, see this diet or food, what we are saying, consuming such a kind of items. Third important factor, but in the life it becomes first. Day and night. It is not only day and night, dark and light, all these things. Everywhere it affects. One is fully active, another one is fully rest. Generally, we say passive. It is passive means not negative. It is silent, cool, calm. If we are unable to understand this kala, there is no understanding technique of time. Time and kala goes together. So to understand is day and night, one should understand. According to that, he should work. According to that, he should take food. According to that, all other, what we are saying, developments, he should proceed. So what happened now? Night sleep is important. Daytime work is important. In the middle, to manage this, right quality and quantity of food is important. Not only this much, if that food, what we consumed, assimilation, if it is proper, then only development will be proper. Otherwise, everything becomes improper. So, in lifestyle, these three parts important after developing. So, child are in the, what we are saying, very early stage. They cannot understand. It is management by parents or mother. So, it is a whole, what we are calling means one kind of social system. If we are understanding day and night, food, in the same way thereafter cleanliness and all these things, immunity one can develop very easily. This what we learned unknowingly, without any teaching, without any orientation, without any books and classes in this COVID-19. Everybody learned very systematically and following very, very systematically. So this we should use our buddhi little more, and we should open our eyes with the buddhi. That only what Sri Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita. Anything you can understand. Buddhau sharanam anvicha. You follow, fully dedicate, surrender to the buddhi, then you can understand everything. For that purpose, what we are saying in different language, concentration, ekagrata, practice, everything we are doing. So like this, we can understand this is the real concept and practical application in this life to develop the immunity. For this main important thing with the breathing, courage. If there is no courage, he can't do anything. That courage one can develop only by breathing system. No any other such a kind of systematic method to develop and sustain the courage. If courage is there, see, one can overcome any such a kind of negativities without any hurdles. See, by using this knife or fire or any acid, alkali, see, anything we can use, but how we are using? With the courage and such a kind of knowledge, very systematic method, gradual development. It is not sudden development. Such a kind of quality in buddhi, if it is there, you see, computer, how we learn, how we develop this digitalized and now developed in a short term, like anything. We are getting contact worldwide within a few seconds. See, like this, if you are developing the courage and buddhi, there is no problem. We need not get any kind of fear, no problem at all. This is the technique, what our traditional system, what they told, how you can overcome tapatrayas. Tapatrayas continuously will be there. Problems, what we say. Sir, I had a little problem. What problem? Problem is always there, but the solution also there. To get solution, only the thing we should apply right approach, buddhi. For that purpose, food also important, sleep also important, sun and moon, grace also important. So this is the technique of yoga, what we are implementing, what we can see with the tradition. There is no any kind of change, no diversions, no confusions. It is 100% definite till today, what Siddha also told from the basic, same thing. Yes, thank you for the given opportunity.
Very good. Thank you. We will get back to you with the next question, but now we go back to Dr. Thirunarayanan, who will take on the second question. And the second question that we have for the round is, at which stage of the fetal development in the mother's womb does the immune system become active, and which role does the mother's nutrition play during pregnancy? So that's the question about the baby in the mother's body.
Right. See, Siddha believes the Bala, Dega Bala we call it. The Dega Bala occurs to a child during the intrauterine life itself, and that is the reason why there are certain procedures that are being recommended for the pregnant mother to follow. Even during the conception time, there is a procedure to be followed. The conception should happen when both of them are de-stressed. Both the parents are de-stressed, without any stress, without any external pressure, in a happier mood. It should happen that way. The conception should happen in that way. When that happens, once it is confirmed, the mother, pregnant mother, has to follow a routine. This routine is there even for an ordinary person, what we call as a daily regimen and the seasonal regimen. So for any individual, there's a daily regimen and there's a seasonal regimen. Particularly for a pregnant mother, what is to be done in the first trimester? What should not be done in the first trimester? For example, jerky movements is not allowed in the first trimester. Similarly, difficult yoga, asanas, when we say yoga, generally we consider with asana, but there are 8 limbs, yama niyama. The mother should follow the yama niyama, but not the asana, the first trimester. And again, the food that is to be consumed by the mother during the intrauterine life is clearly defined. What kind of rice or grain should be taken, what are the leaves or the roots or the flowers that could be added when making the rice or cooking the rice. Basically, we are rice eaters, so rice comes to me spontaneously. So what kind of porridge should be given, what kind of foods have to be taken. So all these things, for example, pomegranate plays a very key role in a pregnant mother's life. So pomegranate is the key one. It prevents anemia. Second, it improves the oxygen carrying capacity. Therefore, the child immunity becomes better when the nutrition is taken, because we believe the saptadhadus, like the Ayurvedic physicians and the Ojas, we believe the saptadhadus. All nutrition that you get is from what you eat. That becomes the child, the blood, the bone marrow in a sequential order. So similarly, the pomegranate plays an important role. The Bala Mula, we call Bala Mula is Siddha species of plant. So usually it's boiled with milk. That's why the Shira Bala, right? So this Bala Mula is one that is used, Siddha cardifolia root. So these kind of dietary advices, the rest, the calming down, the adequate rest for the mother, the physical activity, the particular type of yogasanas to be starting from Tadasana, Trigonasana, this asana practice, because Saint Tirumular, it is just called Tirumandiram, which consists of 3,000 verses, dedicates some 60 verses to the yoga practices. So in that yoga practices, the yoga practice to be adapted by the mother, pregnant mother, is defined. Then the at regular interval, there are some festivities which are designed inbuilt, like the baby shower in common language, like applying the bangle. Bangle, you know, the child gets a good, pleasant music when the mother moves the bangle. So normally, is the glass bangle that is the mother is asked to wear, and you will see in South Indian tradition, the entire forearm will be full of bangles. So that when the mother moves a little bit, the child in the womb gets that thing. And also the chanting of mantras, hearing beautiful Carnatic music. So these are something which are inbuilt in the festivities, the mother's celebrations, all this is going to that. Then the abdominal massage, vaginal pack, various things helps the child to have better immunity. And you know best once a child is born, there's no better immune enhancing system than the mother's milk. So there are certain regimens which are prescribed in Siddha to be included in the food of the mother post-delivery. So the child builds up a good immunity. So this is how it goes. It's a very elaborate topic. And for the time being, I rest it here.
No, definitely. It's just great. You cut it short. It's just also, you know, of course, for everybody, we had it at our pre-talks. If you want to know more, just go to our experts and study this. So this is not meant to make you doctors. It's meant to make you knowledgeable human beings. So just for you to know, there is this kind of knowledge, and some of this everybody can implement in their lives. So that's all our goal for now, right? So thank you for that. Going on and to Dr. Satya. So the same, at which stage of fetal development does the immune system become active, and how important is the mother's nutrition during the pregnancy time?
Thank you. It's my turn. Fine. As I said in the previous discussion, I always look at the word immunity as unity of three factors. Again, the same thing applies here also. I'll tell you how. So that is, as I said, IMM unity. It is the immaturity. IMM means here it reflects immaturity of unity of three factors, that is IMM. And how these three factors, one is, as I said, I means inherent. How this inherent, that is inner, that is sahaja, bala, natural immunity, how it will be formed. As per Ayurveda, the transfer of ojas happens during the 8th month. Happens during the 8th month. Even if you look at the modern contemporary perspective, they said full term is 37 weeks, 37 plus weeks. So even less than that, so they may, to some extent, they may call it a preterm baby. That is what immaturity. So then there will be a natural, proper transfer of mother's ojas, immunity, to the child. If somebody gets delivered, some infant gets delivered, maybe just in the starting of 8th month, so naturally, remaining his lifetime, he'll faces all immunological issues, maybe developmental, many more. So that's how the Ayurvedic fundamental principle is definitely, you know, it is definitely the reflection of the contemporary science. So that's how the I factor. 8th month is a crucial one as per Ayurveda. And the second one is, as I said, that is meteorological seasons and age, mother's age. What are the seasons? Yes, there are studies proved that the children whosoever delivered in particular seasons, particular months, their life expectancy is comparatively more. That's how seasons has an influence. That's what we say, environmental influence. And mother's age definitely, you know, as it's established the fact that if she conceives at the age of 23 and 24, the quality of ova is in a superlative manner, and of course the progeny will be in a better progeny. And the third one is the meal and activities, and whatever the medicines she consumes. Meal, ahara, nidra, and brahmacharya. This Ayurveda strongly proclaims that there is trayopastamba, that is 3 supporting pillars of life. 3 pillars of life are vata, pitta, kapha. Supporting pillars of life are ahara, nidra, and brahmacharya. Ahara means sustenance, that is food and the sleep, and the balanced behavior and the sexual activity. So these 3 factors comes under M3, that is meal and activities. So that's how these 3 factors responsible to the development of the immune system in the fetus, and it's being discussed under the heading of again the IMM unity. Thank you.
Just one more question, Dr. Satya, because this is a matter that might be very important to some people, to women who might be becoming mothers. So it happens that children are born with 7 months sometimes. What happens in that case? Is there a way to build up that immune system at the same level as a, say, fully developed fetus, or is it something they have to deal with the whole life?
Yes, but not absolutely, because if there is a defective manufacturing, what you will do? Then again we have to go for the second new piece. So it is a defection in the manufacturing. That particular child needs a lifetime care. So he immediately easily gets sick. So he has to maintain that, be carefulness throughout the life.
All right, so it might be a good reason to become a great yogi, or maybe a very strong person. So thank you. So we know about that. Let's go on to Dr. Geeta Sharma. Now, just as you were already going into that direction of the fetal development, again, with you, at which stage does the immune system become active, and how important is the mother's nutrition during pregnancy?
Yeah, actually earlier the doctor has already explained, according to Siddha or according to Ayurveda. In naturopathy also it's the same. The development of immune system starts right from the intrauterine life of a fetus, and it's very, very important for the mother to lead a very peaceful, stress-free, natural lifestyle to give the best immune system for the child or the fetus. Okay, and as we know that in the in modern medicine also, that IgG, which is the immunoglobulin, that crosses the placental barrier and that helps in protecting the fetus, and mostly the IgG level rises towards the last trimester. So it has been seen that if a preterm baby burns, if the female gives birth to a preterm baby, his immune system, the baby becomes immune competent in some of the factors. So it's highly important for the woman to follow a proper life, proper diet regimen throughout the entire pregnancy. And here in naturopathy and yoga, see, we know that naturopathy is a holistic approach. So here we inculcate mainly the psychological status of the female, and that helps. If she is stress free, she can give better, she can help in development of a better immune system to the baby, because psychoneuroimmunology, it plays a very important role in developing the immune system. There are many researchers that they have studies have been conducted that if there is positive thinking and like emotions, if the lady is balanced emotionally, then her left brain, like left cerebral hemisphere, is active, and that helps in developing. And it has been seen in the studies that increases the salivary IgA level whenever there is positive thinking or in a relaxed state of mind. So that will help to develop a proper immune system. And along with that, like in naturopathy, we recommend yoga. Yeah, there are different yogic asanas, because naturopathy and yoga, we go hand in hand. So that helps in maintaining the physical body, emotional body, and maintains the natural development of the fetus. It's yoga. There are different yogic postures that we recommend in the first trimester, second trimester, and the last trimester. There are different yogic postures, pranayam, asanas, and that has to be practiced. But there are like few restrictions in the first trimester, and we have developed a protocol that can be followed. Along with that, proper dietary habit that is has to be maintained throughout the entire pregnancy. So here, mainly in naturopathy, we recommend more of vegetables and fruits, so which can inculcate all those micronutrients and macronutrients in the body that helps in maintaining or maintaining the immune system. So mostly, again, sir has also explained in Siddha that they like advise taking pomegranate. Yeah, we too advise taking pomegranate, and we in naturopathy we have developed one green juice. We call it green juice. Green juice mainly it consists of coriander and mint, and then we add gooseberry, Indian gooseberry. So here, Indian gooseberry is it's rich in folic acid and even mint. So it's very rich in iron. So these supply the supplements that is required for a mother, that is rich in folic acid and vitamin C and all this. So this will help in developing the immune system or maintaining the immune, developing the immune system. Along with that, properly dietary habit with fruits and vegetables, more of fruits and vegetables, that will help her to maintain throughout. And along with that, there are some naturopathy treatments which we advise to maintain the proper, like some naturopathy treatments are given to relieve symptomatic symptoms like hyperacidity and all. So that will help to again maintain the health of the female. And mostly alkaline diet is prescribed. And in naturopathy, there is a like term hydrotherapy. So I think nowadays in overall in most of the countries, they advise swimming for the lady towards the last trimester. There, like, it is again to relax her mind and enhance the pelvic floor muscles, so that will help her. And when she is in a relaxed mood, then her like development of the immune system is much better than in a stressed female. So all these things holistically, that will help to like develop a better immune system in the fetus. And after the delivery also, first 5 years, it's very crucial for the development of the baby, of the child immune system. So these 5 years has to be taken in a great care to develop the immune system.
We will get there. I mean, that's great. We'll get. Who would have thought you just keep relaxed and a good life and eat some good food and are happy, and then your children are strong and fine. That's unbelievable. The question is why nobody's doing that, but let's see what Dr. Krishna Sharma has to add on the yoga therapy side of it.
See, not only developing the womb, if they have proper knowledge and idea about their health, then only they can take their pregnancy time, their care. In whole our system, any system you take, important for the womb only, not for the mother. So such a way, mother should take care each and every walk of the life, not only 9 months, before that and after that. Then only child and childbirth will be good, whatever it may be, even conceiving also. For that purpose, their lifestyle they should make first correct. After conceiving, if they are trying to improve or to develop the immunity and all these things, maybe result. It is not certainly definite. Because of that, earlier, such a kinds of managements were very good. Here, basic thing is that mother should be supported and encouraged, and that courage should be developed without any doubt. It may be in food, it may be in sleep, it may be in every walk of the life. They should not get any kind of even confusion also. That leads good quality of the child and its childbirth and immunity, everything. Now, in the same way, food which she conceives or consumes, that if it is against to her body, definitely it is against to for the womb or child also. So he should take double care, which should not affect her body and mind. Same way for the child also, not only body, mainly to the mind. For example, if you are taking little tea, coffee extra, little bit, but it is according to that body, they feel little extra. Immediately irritation starts. Its effect immediately more than that mother's body on that womb. So such a kind of care we should take. For that purpose, others' support is very, very essential. It is not only individual, either care centers or grandmother or husband or grandfather, somebody, see, with this modern system, such a kind of supportiveness is very, very essential. Otherwise, automatically, that lady or mother in her mind with always confusion or such a kind of scare or fear, little bit. That fear won't help to develop any kind of immunity or good quality. It gives negative only. So to overcome that in yoga, very simple practices. What we say means in asana, all these things, everybody is explaining up to 3 months, any practice they can do. If they have earlier practice, no problem, up to 4 months. Newly started means 3 to 4 months. Thereafter pranayama, lastly pranayama. See, all these things correct. There is no confusion. But proper guidelines, systematic practice, systematic training, there also without Kumbhaka, Ujjayi and Anuloma Viloma helps very well. In addition to that, Brahmari Pranayama. See, these way, if they are practicing regularly, continuously, morning, evening, with the normal work, if they are doing, they need not worry to develop any kind of such a kind of pregnancy and a childbirth. This is common thing to get courage, confidence, and such a kind of calmness of the mind. See, these three things are very, very important. Along with this, they should get normal rest and sleep, sound sleep. For that purpose, what kind of food they should consume, according to their quality, they should consume, not extraordinary way. See, adjustment only with their routine life, such a way, modern adjustment with a moderate way, not complete change. Complete change won't help. It creates many kind of other problems also, not sure. So always such a kind of adjustment is required. This way, if they are doing food, lifestyle and practice of asana and pranayama meditation techniques, definitely it works. There is no any kind of doubt. It is told in all kinds of classical texts, and Vasishtha also told Sri Rama, you take care of womb. For that purpose, care of that mother, she should take care of womb. So it is your duty, your responsibility, take care. Later what happened, all those things are different. But the key point is here to take care of the mother. Somebody should be there supportively. Otherwise, that courage won't come. If courage is not there, no proper breathing, no proper such a kind of any kind of management in the body. Why means in the whole body, prana only the key point. Next, only other food items. Therefore, pranayama and meditation techniques helps very well here. But according to their capacity and limitation that we cannot force. Today, 5 rounds enough. It is their present situation. We cannot force even single breathing also extra. Same way meditation, 1 minute, half minute, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. It is not compulsory 20 minutes, 12 minutes. If they have that capacity, it is okay. Otherwise, it becomes a force on that womb, their capacity, automatically they are going to lose. See, this is what happens early birth and loss of pregnancy or miscarriage, what we are saying. This is because of this type of thinking approach and physical activities, mainly thinking approach. So it should be corrected. This is our duty to support and to get good childbirth in the proper way, that mother. This is what we feel and what we are experiencing also nowadays. Thank you.
Very good. Also, a question for you, Doctor. Just like with Dr. Satya, who told us, if you do not get to the 8th month, then the body will always have to work a whole life. Now, what if a mother does not have a nice pregnancies? We know about, let's say, refugees, or maybe mothers who are not in war zones, but maybe in a household with violence and all that. So what happens with that child, and is there a way to give them the strength over life?
No, it is a responsibility of husband. It is responsibility of husband. Why means childbirth, it is a coordination and understanding of both. It is not only one person. Why means she is like what we are saying, the situation is unavoidable. She can't do more things. So supportive way to talk, to think, to do work, somebody must be there. Who is? Indian system, it is husband or family, other members.
But what is if the husband is a bad person who is,
Otherwise, see, nowadays what we are saying, such a kind of centers, supportive centers will be there. Nowadays, modern Ayurvedic hospitals also supports such a way, 9-month package, 10-month package, 1-year package. See, this system automatically comes.
Right.
It already started, developed.
So actually, what we have to understand, if you lose that time, then you will have to work a whole life with that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's very important for everybody, all our viewers to understand. Just really, those 9 months are very, very, very crucial, and you should do whatever you can. Yes.
By understanding these things in different country, different level, these holidays are there. 10-month holiday, 6-month holiday, 1-month holiday, they can have it.
Right. Right.
See, by understanding this situation only,
Right.
it has given. So even though it is not enough, support of others, that only what I told, social system. It is very, very important.
All right. Thank you for this round. We go back to Dr. Thiru Narayanan, who will take basically, let's say, the final round. We might have 1 or 2 small additions, but this is because the other questions were built into these anyway. But a very important part of the way modern medicine is going about things is to work with the genes and the possibilities to manipulate the genes and work with them in some ways, or have some genealogical view on things. So what would Siddha medicine look at when it comes to the genes and the role they play in the development of the immune system?
Okay. There are 2 things which we discussed earlier. One is the genotypes and other is the phenotype, right? What you get in your genes, that is what we call as the prakriti, the natural immunity or natural development, and other is what you could achieve, what is modern medicine calls as the acquired immunity. When we say acquired immunity, it doesn't only mean the vaccination or inoculation. So here, Dr. Satya was also mentioning about the meteorological, the Kalaja, right? Degavanma is what you get during the birth. Kalaja is Kalavanma in Siddha, very similar idea or thought, where during the phase of your life, like Vata, Pitta, Kapha phase, the middle phase is the phase of Pitta phase. So that is the stage that you get the maximum bala, energy, or your immunity is stronger. Childhood you get infection. Elderly also get infection frequently. The middle age you will be able to withstand. But that thing is also changing because of our food and lifestyle, habits, smoking, alcohol, all those influences are there. So this I wanted to add to the questions raised by you in the previous part, the supplementary question that you raised, that what happens when a child is formed premature, right? This answers this question, right? Though the child will have something deficiency in its childhood because of immature birth, whatever best could be done post-delivery or its younger age, the age in which it really builds up immunity is something that you can do. That is why we all were discussing about the Ahara, Vihara and the Nitra. Apart from that, Siddha has got a vast knowledge of what we call as the Kaya Kalpa therapy. The Kaya Kalpa are of 2 types. One is to maintain good immunity, good health, good strength, good stamina, good intellection, all those things. And there is something which is very specific, what we call the Sirapa Kalpa. So that addresses the basic needs of a particular condition for an individual person. So if somebody practices the Kaya Kalpa method, which includes again the Ashtanga Yoga component of Yoga Pranayama and specific health. For example, Arjuna, I will give an example of terminal Arjuna for the heart, for Eclipta alba for the liver. So there are specific Kalpa medicines. For the brain is the Jalbrahmi, Bakaba Muneri. So there are specific Kalpa medicines. There are also some Kalpa medicines in inorganics, which I am not discussing at length. So there are certain methodologies when you adapt this, the child born with the deficiency will also be able to overcome during the period of time, during its growth phase. It should be possible. So that is what one is the gene, other is the environment. So the environment can also influence. If you live in a healthy environment, airy space, right? We are surrounded by trees and nature, good drinking water, good air to breathe. All these things can contribute in building up the immunity. First, development starts from the fetal life, intrauterine life, right from the time of conception. But when we miss out on that, these add on to it may not be 100% as Dr. Satya was mentioning. It will largely support the system. That's why the Rasayana therapy or the Kayakalpa therapy talks about. I'm using both Sanskrit and Tamil so that people who understand that can also understand this. Thank you very much. Sir, you are muted. You are muted.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. Thank you very much. We go on to Dr. Satya. So what's your view on the role of the genes?
Can you please repeat the question? Can you please repeat
Yes.
the question?
The role of the genes in the development of the system, of the immune system.
Yeah. So thank you once again. I look at the word genes and I consider the word genes is the word came from generations. Genes means it is impressions of the previous generation carry forward as a genes. And there are other aspects of very recently, maybe a decade it is upcoming, that is epigenetics, epigenes. What exactly the genes and epigenes, and this is very important with respect to development of immune system and antenatal development, fetal development. The point is, mother and father parents must be having different kinds of genes, and more or less most of the genes will be carried forward to the further generation, to the progeny. But all the genes are not being expressed in the progeny. Maybe parents are maybe diabetic, but if they have 2-3 children, but those 3 children will carry the corresponding diabetic genes. But all the 3 children are not diabetic. Yes, in 1 or 2 children it is being expressed, and in others maybe it's not in the suppressive mode. That's what the expression of gene is being regulated by the epigenes. Yes, so that's what the genes and epigenes. And what exactly the factors which influence the this expression of the genes. So I'll tell you one thing. There is it's something which is every gene. It's not the compulsion. Ayurveda, has a prakriti. So we have a description of Vata Prakriti, almost 20-25 characteristics. Maybe for Pitta also 20-25. If the person Vata dominant personality means, it doesn't mean that all the Vata qualities are being expressed. So that is very important. One is genotype. That is what the purely the information, genetical information being carried forwarded. That is genes. And that is what the genotype. And the phenotype is, the expression of the genetic information is it is being reflected as a phenotype. It expressed at the physical level. So that is the difference. And what are the characteristics which influence the genes and its further effect on the epigenes and in turn, immunity? As the word genes includes 5 letters. First is it's, of course, as we said in immunity, I says inherent. It is being inherent is being regulated by your G. That is genes. That is genotype. And second one is E. That is environment. And third one is N. N means nutrition. And fourth one is E. E means emotional well-being. And fifth one is sleep. These 5 factors, even if you look at the PubMed for the supportive contemporary evidences, these are the 5 major influencing factors for the epigenetics, which in turn on immunity. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm back. This is beautiful. This is you're taking it to a poetic realm, which is important also, and to a deeper understanding of things. And no, I'm very glad we're hearing these things, you know, because sometimes you and obviously we would like to have a colleague from the modern medicine factor also, but you know, not for every day. It's possible to have everyone here, but it would be nice to hear what they think in these cases, because sometimes the modern medicine goes very deep into details and specializing in certain cases, which is very powerful in cases, but then maybe sometimes very blind when it comes to certain other aspects of healing and health in general. So thank you for that. Well, we go on to Dr. Geeta Sharma, who will give us the naturopathic view on the genetic role in developing the immune system. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I do agree with Dr. Satya. Yeah, that's those are the fundamental things that really impact on the genes or the outcome of immunity. Yeah, in naturopathy also we do believe one of the most important thing that hinders or that plays a role in building immunity in the genetic makeup is the psychoneuroimmunology, that is the psychology or the condition during which the mother is being uh, pregnant. And it's the environment first, it's the nutrition and the and the psychological status of the pregnant lady, and then it's the environment where she's living on. All these things play impact on building of the immune system. And if there is like these things also bring mutation in the genes or genetic makeup of the fetus. Okay, so in a healthy life or in a healthy environment, in a healthy status of mind and healthy nutrition, the development of the fetal immune system is very good. But if there is these factors are hindered, there is that leads to mutation of the genes, and that hinders the building up of immunity. Yes, so I do believe in that.
Okay, thank you. That so as we can see, it's these sciences all go hand in hand. So you then have to only add a little bit. So maybe we can find the common ground to have a holistic approach here, at least with the people we have around here. So let's go to Dr. Krishna Sharma and see what the yogic sciences say about the genes and how genes work.
See, generation to generation, it continues in all sciences. There is no doubt at all. That continuity we are getting through the genes. So it is not only in a structure, not only in the quality or blood or cells anywhere. Each and everywhere its effect will be there. There is no doubt at all. So now in the fetus level, automatically it transfers. But how much it carries for the next birth and for the development, according to that, its effect will be there. Now, knowingly, if mother protects all the directions, the quality of fetus and immunity, then automatically the quality will be in improved version next birth level. See, earlier level, if it is protected in such a nice way, very high regard level, then fetus also will carry such a kind of good quality only. Only the thing, they should maintain, support, and carry. If it is not maintained, even though genes are there very good and all this level, next level it becomes weak. For that purpose, see the maintenance, all this kind of what we are calling treatment or support or food, everything is required. So each and everything, see, if it is digested and absorbed in the body means, automatically it connects up to the genes. Percentage we don't know. We are able to assess in the last, after getting the result only. Before starting also, we don't know how much it will affect on the genes level also. So this way it transfers from life, birth to another birth, the same way generation to generation, automatically it will carry on. Therefore, the qualities, structure, color. See, color, structure, qualities, different parts of gene, different qualities of gene, all these things we are analyzing. But they work all together. They are not separate. See, they are all the development and part of our food only. What anna we are eating, it's development only. So it should be developed in a proper way. That controlling technique only told in yoga. So therefore, what they say means in yoga, different schools, automatically say we should develop with food quality and such a kind of maintenance with full care, then only good childbirth will be there. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, definitely it will continue for the next generation to generation. There is no doubt at all. But only up to certain extent only we can change and develop, not completely. We cannot change in the genes level anytime, wherever it is required. See, according to our wish, it won't go. One kind of certain change, limitation is there. That percentage is not in our hand. If we are doing like that, it will be like this uncontrolled level of this, what we are saying nowadays, COVID-19, the problem, how it is developed, and we are understanding now also not understood properly. So this way, yoga helps to maintain and improve the genes level also for the child, childbirth, fetus, each and every walk of the life. Thank you.
Thank you very Thank you very much. We're almost through. I just want to, because we got a few questions on social media, but we had so much of your time. I would just go for one short question because it's because of its actuality. Maybe just in a few sentences, you give your ideas. Before that, I wanted to ask Dr. Thiru Narayanan, was it you wanted to add something to a point before which I didn't see right away?
No, I covered it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
so fine. Then let's get to this final question. How do you see the role of vaccines in the development of immunity, especially because we are now in such a vaccinated sort of situation? Maybe just give us a few words on that.
Okay. See, for a specific organism, microbe, you require a specific immunity. We have the soil and seed theory, right? We are all exposed to the virus, but not everybody gets the disease. If a body is strong enough, the virus will come to us, will enter us, but the body will be able to, immune system will be able to fight against that. So we'll, without getting disease or symptoms, we'll develop the immunity. For those who are not strong enough, those who not practice the yoga, the agara, vigara, nitra in a proper way, if they get the disease, infection, then they will manifest into a disease. So, two ways by which you can get a immunity to a specific disease is one, getting the disease and developing natural immunity against that. Otherwise, through inoculation, through vaccination. Right? See, fortunately, our races, the Asians, we are able to withstand the disease much better than others. I mean, from the percentage of deaths, mortality compared to the infection rate and the spread rate and things like that. See, in a place like Chennai, we already have 83% of people who are seropositive. But only 10% of the people got the disease. So 72% of the people have become seropositive without getting the disease. And at that point in time when the survey was carried out, only 20% were vaccinated. So assuming that, we still have 50% of people who develop natural immunity to this virus. So we are not against vaccination. We have done some studies personally. Sorry, I'm little taking it far. CTMR has done a study in a population of 1,000 people working in an industry, gave them a specific kashayan. Kashayan is decoction or herbal tea, which contains some antiviral herbs like Andropophis paniculata, licorice, what we call the Glycyrrhizia glabra, Eschimado in Sanskrit. So we gave this kashayam for 3 days a month, twice a day. And all these people were tested for COVID infection by the RT-PCR, which is considered the golden standard. 3 times during the last 15 months. Only 3 of them, of the 1,000, tested positive on in all the 3,000 tests. That is negligible, 0.01%. So there are herbal medicines which can really help. So, but when there is a national policy and the policy of the WHO that people should go for vaccine, we will not stand against that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And also, before we go on with Dr. Satya, I have to mention this because one of our videos was taken down by YouTube because we had Dr. Shinoy on, and he was just talking about the Ayurvedic protocol to deal with COVID. And, you know, YouTube thought it was not in the same line with the WHO guidelines, which is actually not that way. He was absolutely saying everything just the way in accordance with the WHO guidelines, because he was saying what he had done for the Ayush ministry. So it was all a very official thing, but it seems to be obviously, as we all know, a very political matter, and sometimes overloaded with things that don't get there. And I really want to emphasize that we as an organization have no horse in this race. We do not care what kind of opinion people have, but we should be able to just look at things without being taken down, and of course without propagating some maybe unhealthy ideas. But in this case, the COVID protocol and also the vaccination is a very very hot topic, and we want to really make clear we're not really on a specific side. To me personally, it's just a very political issue that shouldn't be that way. So let's go on with Dr. Satya and see what his idea is on vaccination and how it could be part of immunity.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. If you look at immunity, there are different aspects. One is individual immunity. Fine. Second one is either maybe collective immunity or the population immunity. If it is, something which is affecting very less number of people, we don't emphasize that you are supposed to go to for vaccination. But the major group of people, large number of people are being affected, then the vaccination is essential. And somebody will ask, is vaccination is being supported by Ayurvedic people?
Yeah.
The point is, what is Rasayana? While I am elaborating the word immunity, the contemporarily I said it is inherent, and another one is inoculation, that immunization. Inherent immunity is non-specific immunity, whereas inoculation, immunization immunity is specific immunity. And in Ayurveda also, as I said, Sahaja Kalaja Yuktikrita. In Yuktikrita, that is third M, the meal and activities and medicine. There, Yuktikrita, they mentioned even Rasayana. What is this Rasayana? One is Ahara Rasayana, food in the food form, and there is an activity. And third one is Naimittikam Vyadinimittam. Disease specific Rasayana. What is that? One is the treatment, another one is the prevention. Disease specific prevention is what we consider as the vaccination. So definitely we support it. And as it is, in the Janapada Dvamsa, they mentioned, though we are individuals, your body frame and everything is something which is different. But the common is Panchamahabhuta. The common to all individuals is Panchamahabhuta. If any derailment or disturbances in this Panchamahabhuta will affect the large group of people which is happening in the present in the COVID. So, and still we know whether it is purely of natural origin, which is something, artificial origin, that is God knows. So in this scenario, definitely vaccination is advisable. But still we further add that, yes, still you add Ayurveda. So definitely it gives an effect as a vaccine adjuvants. So there is another area from Ayurveda. So it emphasizes as a vaccine adjuvants. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's go on to Dr. Gita and what naturopathy thinks of vaccination as a help to building up immunity.
Well, we have a basic principle in naturopathy that it says that body heals itself. Okay, so if we follow the natural way of life, we do this yoga, because yoga is we go hand in hand. We follow all the rules of yoga. We follow the natural diet, and we follow the natural like daily lifestyle. Then our body has the capacity to heal itself. So whatever the antigen comes in our body has the ability to fight itself. So there, in that condition, vaccination is not required as a, if you are a proper naturopath who are following. But seeing this, the scenario of the world, like what it's going on through this pandemic, so like if you give a proper opportunity for your body to heal itself by supporting from the environment, by giving certain treatments, then that will help to develop the immunity. But due to this pandemic, yeah, it was a necessity for the government to like do this vaccination. But in naturopathy, we have certain limbs like fasting. Fasting helps to like it activates the autophagy of our body, so that provides a medium to build the immunity. So if you are a proper naturopath, if you are a proper follower of a naturopath, you need not do vaccination, and it's from the childhood. But just looking for the government and for this and pandemic situation, yeah, that was what government could do. Thank you.
Yes, I understand that. So just also here for to not make it a battle of minds or something. It's just a basic concept of looking at things, and in certain situations you might have to adapt, but
Yeah,
still we really want to know that your basic structure of naturopathy. So thank you for that. So coming to an end with Dr. Krishna Sharma, what is the yogic idea of vaccination?
See, in yoga also, they says, Mani Mantra Aushadha. See, for the emergency purpose related, such a kind of Mani Mantra Aushadha means immediate effecting. Such a kind of treatments are very important. So in the same way here, vaccination is important. Why means, see, death and all these we have seen in this data, statistical level, all these level we know. More than that, we can see in the heart attack, diabetes, and in other areas. Even though we are afraid about this COVID-19 pandemic situation, but already this type of vaccinations are proved in tuberculosis or other level, 50 years, 60 years like this. Here, no such a kind of duration or lifespan has given for this vaccination, even though in this situation, to support and give such a kind of one confidence in the life, it is very, very essential. So such a kind of system already implemented. On that basis, it is accepted, and we are doing up to some extent. We may feel we are getting result also. See, this what we can see after the result in the long duration only. So then only it will become time-tested factor. Then only it will become correct. Up to there, it will be in that what we are calling the experiment. But even though experiment, up to some extent, the result also. So it is very important thing. Why means life is important. If practice yoga or food or any other medicine, whatever it is. But another special thing here, nowhere, nobody is dependent upon this medicine or treatment only. They are trying in their own local method or known method, unknown method, interactions. See, like this, many other methods they are applying. For example, nowadays, because of COVID-19, many such a kind of sciences and systems came up and they applied, we got success also. So we cannot say something is better than nothing. So such a way this vaccination is very important. No, that also one kind of test and its result what we are getting. So there is no doubt at all. See, even though 20% to 20% is not a small percentage, 1 or 2% means we can say 20% vaccinated and got a good result means it is one kind of good result. To reach this type of number, a very huge number, very difficult, not so easy. So that also systematically we should reach. But with all other what we are calling social system, it is ongoing process. We cannot say no. But along with that, we should try with our level best what other sources and how we can improve. See, something may be better than that in a shortcut method and other way, but it takes little time. So immediately it is impossible. Why means what Ayurveda doctor told in the same way what we can say many infections we can prevent. But COVID-19 is it 100%? See, nowhere such a kind of answer. But we are trying. Many got such a kind of cue and such a kind of relief, management and success and other end also. So we cannot say it is not necessary, but such a kind of different methods. This is one kind of what we say scientific approach, prajna. Prajna Purvaka means with the conscious, see, with the deeper thinking level, which is now suitable, which is good for time being. See, such a way we should go. This is actual one kind of yogic approach. Heyam Dukkham Anagatam. See, which sorrow not yet come, that we should try to prevent with the available knowledge. This is for a common person. See, not only for the intelligent. See, this way it is very, very useful. There is no doubt at all. And along with that, we should try with other practices and other systems, so food systems and management, everything. Okay. Even though injection is there, vaccination, again, same level, management of distance, washing, cleanliness, and wearing the mask, see, control, improvement yourself. See, all these methods are there. Vaccinated means 100% they are not free from all these system. Means daily routines, what we are calling yamas, and practicing techniques, everything is important. Along with this will give one kind of boost to us. There is no doubt at all. So it is very important. Thank you for the given opportunity and time in this occasion, organizers and Dr. Vinayak also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. There you have it. We had the question round, and I really have to thank everybody who was part of it. And I'm really looking forward to the next few days coming up, and really to all our experts today. Thanks for being here, for our presentators, to all the viewers, to all the listeners. Thank you for being with us. And for today, we say goodbye, and we come back tomorrow very early in the morning. So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.